Today we're going to be talking about free games for the Quest. Now this doesn't matter whether you have a Quest 2, 3 or 3S, all of these games are going to apply to you and you're going to be able to jump in, dive in and have a freaking good time for the great old price of $3.99. Oh yeah, we do love a good old free game around here. Of course, if you think I've missed any games off of this list, then feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, please do smash that like button because it really does help these videos get seen and I would really truly appreciate it. Other than that, let's dive into our first game, and our first game is actually a multitude of games. I decided that the best thing we could do at the beginning of this list is actually give you a multitude of games because these are the ones that you see on every bloody list and I didn't want to just fill mine up with these, so we're just going to do for game one a bunch of games. Let's kick it off with Rec Room. If you're unfamiliar with Rec Room, well, this is a multiplayer game that you can play pretty much on any device known to mankind at this point, but you can also play it in virtual reality, which I think is the best way to play it. In this, you can play a multitude of different things in this multiplayer madness game. Of course, next would be VR chat. We can't miss VR chat off of this list. I think by now we all know what VR chat is. It is basically a worlds of worlds. You can pretty much anything you can imagine can be done in there, and it's a social app as well. Next up we have Roblox. Roblox is of course one that, well, I think everyone knows what it is. I feel like I almost don't need to say much more than that. You can play Roblox in VR on the Quest, and if you didn't know that, well, you do now. Of course, we wouldn't be able to do this without saying Gorilla Tag, so make sure you get in there and get your monkey on, because, well, there would be no list of free games without including Gorilla Tag. And last up is a new one that's on the street, but honestly one that's proven to be very popular, and that is Yeeps. Yeeps is another one that I feel like if you like Gorilla Tag or something, you're going to really enjoy this one. It's kind of like the game that you go up from Gorilla Tag to playing. So yeah, if you enjoyed Gorilla Tag, I highly recommend you check out Yeeps. Now let's get into our singular games where I'm not just going to bunch them all into one thing, and that first one on the list is Frenzies. This is the brand new game from Endreams, and honestly this one is a free one, but dang dude, it has turned out to be a really solid game. The game is pure chaos in the best possible way. You're running around with these colourful arenas, grabbing items, dodging explosions, and trying to outplay your opponents. If you love fast-paced action multiplayer mayhem, then this one is going to be for you, so go and give it a try. Next up is Elixir, and honestly no free game list would be complete without including this because it is the best way to experience free hand tracking games. Now this one itself, you go into a magical laboratory where you can play with spells, creating potions, experimenting with crazy magical elements. It's not a super long experience, but it is the perfect introduction to not only VR, but also, of course, full hand tracking. And if you're looking to mess around with something, it's totally weird and fun to dive into. Next up, it's Population 1. This is free to play nowadays. Now, last time I made one of these lists, everyone was like, what the hell, I paid for this game. I know, so did I, my dude. But this has now gone to fully free to play, so anyone can get into this. This is a high standards game, and I'm talking like that because, well, it used to be a paid game, and there's a reason for that because it comes with a quality bar. Now this is definitely not one for the weak-hearted because there is quite a lot of movement in this, and if you're still trying to get your VR legs, I would recommend that you maybe work on that before you get sort of into this game, because there's climbing, elevation, there's flying, shooting, running, doing all of those classic crazy things that you'll do in any battle royale. So if you're a fan of battle royales, this is a must-have. Honestly, it's super fun. They've got a bunch of other modes in there nowadays, like sandbox mode where you can go free and just go crazy building out whatever you want to do. Of course, you can also battle against other players to win that sweet old chicken dinner. So definitely want to check out if you haven't before. And of course, like I say, just make sure you got your VR legs before you dive into this because it's a little bit more extreme. Next up, we have X8. Nice and simple, easy one to remember. X8 brings like tactical hero shooter experience into VR. So think about your Valorants and your Overwatch. It definitely has that kind of feel to it. If you're into games where strategy meets combat, this one's gonna be for you. You choose from a variety of different heroes, with each with like unique abilities that kind of keep you locked in and interested as you play through the game, and then you take on a bunch of other players in an intense team-based match. It's frantic and of course free to anyone who wants to give this a go, and it definitely has that competitive twist on the shooters that we normally play in VR, and really just gives it a bit of a new vibe. So definitely a cool one. Like I say, if you're into those sort of hero shooters, this one is going to be really good for you. Next we go to Gym Class Basketball. This is the ultimate VR basketball experience. And genuinely super fun to just dive into. You can either go in there just by yourself and have an absolute freaking blast against the bots, because the bots are actually pretty damn good in this. And you can also then go up against other players as well if you want to sort of like up your skill level or just play with some friends. So whether you want to shoot some hoops or, you know, do some pickup games with some other players, practice your dunks, show off your skills, you can play this with multiplayer. It's pretty damn smooth and it feels like you're pretty much there in the court playing this. It really does feel quite good. So props to them for making a decent game when it comes to this. Now, if you need a break from all this crazy action, well then Bait is there for you to chill out in the perfect fishing game where you can explore different lakes, catch a variety of fish, and of course the environments in this are flipping gorgeous. And it's the perfect game for just kicking back and relaxing with a few friends. Yep, you can get in here with yourself or with some friends. Plus it's got a really cool story mode that you can like just dive into and enjoy, as well as a bit of free game mode where you can just go off and do some fishing. This one is, like I said, the ultimate chill game. If you just want to get with some friends, have a bit of a catch up and a chat, go somewhere really pretty in VR. Next up we have No Clip VR. Well, this one's definitely inspired by the Backrooms game, so there's no point in hiding from that. Well, if you're feeling a bit more adventurous though and you want to go into a horror-ish kind of game, well then No Clip drops you into an eerie, unsettling world of liminal space. It's all about exploration, survival, and navigating creepy, glitchy environments. The atmosphere is intense, and if you're into spooky, mysterious games, then this one's gonna get you freaked out and jumping out of your skin. But again, you can do this with a bunch of friends to make it even more spooky, because I kind of find like these games are just way more fun when you get to experience them with friends, and this one is no different. Next up, we're going for a very different vibe, and this is Mission ISS. If you've ever wanted to be an astronaut, well, Mission ISS lets you explore the International Space Station, living out your dreams. You can float around in zero gravity, dock a spacecraft, and even take spacewalks. It's slower and a bit more of an educational experience, let's say, but it's something that will sort of truly be awe-inspiring, and honestly there's something very different about just floating around in space in VR. This has a bit of a wild ending. It can go one of two ways. I won't spoil too much, but just know that it's definitely a very cool and unique experience, and I think really the only way you can truly experience this bar going into space is with something like this. Not only that, it looks flipping gorgeous as well, so if you've ever wanted to see the world from outer space and you believe it's a sphere, which I hope you do, then this is going to be for you. Next up we have Glass Breakers. Now Glass Breakers is a unique tactical brawler where you can control your champions in the arena. It's all about positioning and breaking through your opponent's defense, literally smashing the glass barriers. The competitive angle here is super fun. It's really easy to pick up and start to learn, and of course, you know, as easy as it is to pick up and learn, it's kind of freaking hard to master. So it kind of has that skill barrier that will keep you locked in for longer, but it does make this pretty replayable and kind of fun. Again, it's one of those games that if it was costing money, I wouldn't recommend, but for free, this one is actually pretty interesting just to dive into. It's a really gorgeous environment and just kind of fun. Other than that though, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Massive thank you for watching, and of course, if you want to check out any other sort of Quest related content, check out the channel. I have a ton of videos on there, from like the best games in Quest to the best sort of by genre in Quest. So check out the channel, we've got all of that good stuff there. Subscribe if you are new, smash that like button, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out, bye.